Hello everyone, I'm DH Movie Review. Today, I'll introduce to you the movie The Lair 2022. Though it's said to be by the same director, its excellence is not at all inferior to the previous one. The monster inside makes us even more despairing. It can easily destroy fully armed American soldiers. Those who love thrills, remember to fasten your seatbelts, so we can set off together. The story begins in Afghanistan. A British fighter jet on a mission, suddenly attacked by Taliban forces. Although pilot Jane quickly fired flares, the result was still a hit to the tail. Luckily, before the plane crashed, she successfully opened her parachute, but the landing zone was enemy territory. Just after landing, Jane encountered enemy pursuit. On her escape route, she accidentally arrived at the door of an underground base. Unexpectedly, the steel door was locked. At the same time, the enemy arrived. Both sides immediately engaged in combat. The enemy fired a missile, accidentally opening the steel door of the bunker. Facing a hail of bullets, Jane could only sneak inside. Unexpectedly, there was a bottomless pit ahead. Although a bit scared, but for her life, Jane gathered all her courage and stepped down the stairs. Unaware it was even more dangerous inside, she quickly reached the bottom of the pit, opened the door, and saw a gas mask hanging outside. There was also a terribly dried-up corpse. It looked like a laboratory. Out of curiosity, Jane took the mini camera on the table, ready to continue going inside, then discovered the enemy was also chasing. She quickly threw away the glow stick and hid. But when the enemy turned on the bunker lights, the scene before their eyes made others break out in a cold sweat. All they saw were neatly arranged experiment cabins, each containing a monstrous creature, neither human nor beast. Oh my God! Suddenly Jane chose this moment to strike. She grabbed the weapon from them. Once again, a fierce battle ensues. A laboratory chamber accidentally breaks open. The experiment inside rolls out. They fight with all their might, but are unaware of the terrifying events unfolding. Taking advantage of the chaos, Jane slips into the sewer. The enemies, seeing this, split up to block her, but the man who stayed behind had no idea. The test subject revived upon contact with air. Jane just escaped from the sewer. She also heard the screams. She hurriedly climbed up the old path. It wasn't easy to crawl to the surface. An enemy chasing her grabbed her leg. Her weapon fell from her hand. She could only keep kicking the enemy's face. But the enemy wouldn't let go, no matter what. Unexpectedly, the next moment a monster appeared, quickly tearing off the skin of its face. This horrific scene scared Jane, causing her to rush outside. Fortunately, the gap in the door was too small for the monster to get through. Jane quickly stepped forward and locked the door with a chain. But the enemy outside aimed his gun at her. But when he saw the shape of the monster, immediately chose to run away. Jane takes this opportunity to leave. While on the way, she encounters a US squad. She hurriedly proves her ally identity. After confirming that Jane is the downed pilot, the US squad takes her back to the camp. On the way, they capture an enemy escaping. The first time Jane met the captain at the barracks, she quickly recounted everything that had happened at that moment. The one-eyed man didn't believe her, but he decided to keep the mini camera Jane brought back, planning to have the intelligence staff study it a bit and report this incident to the superiors. While Jane was treating her wound, she suddenly thought of the steel door at the base with some words written on it, but she didn't know what it meant, so she wrote those words in her notebook. The captured prisoner recognized it as Russian at a glance. It meant, "Do not open." He also assured everyone that the monster Jane kept mentioning was real. That night, the one-eyed man also learned from his superiors the truth that the experimental base still existed, but everyone didn't know. The monster in the base had started to go crazy, and the steel door locked by Jane couldn't stop it from getting out. At this moment, the soldiers guarding the camp suddenly smelled a foul odor. They thought it was a comrade farting, but the smell came from another direction, and another soldier discovered a disgusting pile of slime on the ground. At this very moment, a shadow flashed by. The soldier immediately became alert upon seeing it. Never thought the monster would attack the camp. Everyone was instantly on guard, firing full force at the approaching monster. But the monster's speed was too fast. Under the dark night, it's hard to hit. A soldier lighting a firework discovered the monster still attacking. After a fierce resistance, the camp's defense team was defeated, and the monster took over the camp. It started slaughtering everyone. Countless soldiers became its food. The remaining warriors could only fight while retreating. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a monster suddenly attacked the tent where Jane was staying. Jane struggled to resist, but the next moment, the monster pushed her onto the bed. Its tentacles reached out and wrapped around her neck. Then it extended its tongue from its eyes, preparing to eat her. Luckily, the people nearby rescued her in time. One slash cuts off the tentacles, rescuing Jane from the monster's mouth. Just by looking, you can tell the prisoner's skills are something, directly slashing the monster to severe injury. The two take the opportunity to leave the tent, successfully regrouping with the surviving soldiers. All of them are crouching in a trench, on guard against the appearance of monsters. Captain John knew that if they continued like this, the entire army would be wiped out, so he decided on the graveyard campaign, to send Jane and her team to the hidden arsenal. He took his glasses-wearing brother to rescue the one-eyed instructor. At this moment, the one-eyed instructor was being attacked by monsters. Fortunately, John and his glasses-wearing brother rushed to help. They threw a flare into the tent. The one-eyed instructor took this opportunity to grab a baseball bat, directly smashed the monster's head. Then the three successfully regrouped with the others, entered the armory before the monsters caught up. They planned to stay here until morning, but John noticed this Taliban prisoner. Believing he must know something, under John's interrogation, the prisoner revealed everything he knew. It turns out that several decades ago, there was a human-eating monster incident here, and the cause was a meteorite falling. In order to obtain this meteorite, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, but after several years of struggle, Afghanistan successfully reversed the situation. But everything was not over yet. The locals began to disappear. When found, they had become unidentifiable corpses. At first, they thought it was due to an animal, so his father organized a hunt for the villagers to kill it. But when the Soviets withdrew from Afghanistan, this suddenly stopped, and the villagers never returned. Soon, it was already dawn. Everyone cautiously stepped out of the armory. The detected monster had vanished without a trace. All the bodies disappeared without a single trace. But after searching, they found the body of the missing monster. Aside from its ugly appearance, it looked very human-like. Moreover, its skin was very tough, but the bullets could only penetrate the skin. Exposed to sunlight, the skin shows signs of melting. No wonder they don't like to act during the day. To better understand the nature of the monsters, as a military doctor, the man with glasses conducted an examination. The result was not unexpected. If you look at the internal organs, the true identity of Chin is. At the moment everyone was confused. One-eyed guy, always lying on the bed, revealed the truth. Actually, the US military had known something. Moreover, everyone told him. It turned out that the meteorite from outer space was actually an alien spaceship. The Soviets discovered it, also detected aliens inside. To get everything, they invaded Afghanistan. And the monster in front of us is the Soviet Union's experiment, combining locals with aliens. At this moment, Jane added, there are hundreds of such monsters in the basement. They'll sweep through here again tonight. The black girl suggested quickly leaving the camp, but the enemy's fortresses are everywhere. John quickly dismissed this idea. Just when no one knew what to do, the one-eyed man, being the superior, spoke out quite frankly. He said that even if their father figure was attacked, they must win this unwinnable battle. I swear to everyone, when these monsters attack, I will defend this place to the death. I will also fight to the last breath, to make the monsters taste defeat. Unexpectedly, as soon as I finished speaking, the monster suddenly rose up. Jane was once again entangled by its tentacles. Others wanted to come to the rescue, but were pushed back by the monster. Luckily, she finally escaped on her own. As mentioned earlier, seeing his subordinate in danger, One-Eye took out a grenade, ready to sacrifice himself with the monster. It seems he's not just taught. When it happens, he really acts. But facing the upcoming monsters, they wanted to call for support, but something was wrong with the radio. For now, the only way is a preemptive strike, so they decided to attack before nightfall, heading straight to the base to defeat the monsters. At first, everything went smoothly, and the bombs were set. But just as they were about to leave the base, the monster appeared and pulled John into the hole. Everyone thought he had died at the hands of the monster, so they prepared to detonate the bomb. But then his voice came over the radio. Even though John ordered everyone not to worry about him, and to continue with the bombing mission as planned, they still decided to keep rescuing him, leaving the man with glasses to assist, using the car to operate the elevator. But as soon as they reached the base, the man with glasses received a message from headquarters, saying that in 20 minutes, headquarters will launch a missile to completely destroy the base. He hurriedly reported this to Jane and the others. Everyone received the news, but had no intention of retreating, and speed up the search for John. Very quickly under Jane's guidance, they arrived at a room full of lab cabins. Along the pipe connecting the cabins, Jane saw a huge container in front of the camera. Curious, she flipped the switch. The scene before their eyes left everyone stunned. Inside was flooded. It's a giant creature from the alien spaceship. It seems there are still signs of life in it. Everyone is astonished. John panics and runs over. There's another monster behind him, but they quickly join forces to deal with it. Turns out John was captured by the monster, but didn't suffer any injuries, so he took the opportunity to escape. However, the crisis didn't end there, because more monsters were about to break out of the experimental cabin. The reason the monster didn't eat John was because they tried to get them all in. At the same time, the man wearing glasses waiting outside was also attacked by the enemy. Suddenly, fierce battles broke out above and below ground. The monster faced a large number. Jane and her team quickly escaped the lab. Moreover, they locked the steel door tightly, but they didn't expect the monster to know how to open doors. Teammate Hook knew that if this continued, everyone would die, so he decided to hold the steel door by himself, to buy everyone time to escape. Seeing Hook's determination, everyone could only leave with tears in their eyes. But they were just about to enter the elevator when they realized the black girl wasn't with them. John decided to take the risk and go back to find her. He told them if he didn't return in 5 minutes, to start the elevator and leave quickly. By this time, the black girl left behind was entangled by the monsters. After a fierce struggle, she finally managed to take down the monster, but she didn't know that there was another one behind her, waiting for John to arrive. He found the black girl had half her face eaten by the monster. John angrily grabbed the tools in the room, rushed in to wrestle with the monster. Meanwhile, Hook couldn't hold the steel door anymore, so he released it, picking up a bomb and throwing it at the monster. John heard the explosion and felt something was wrong, quickly hid in the closet. Affected by the explosion, the elevator also got stuck due to debris. He put on his glasses and had just dealt with an enemy. Then he heard Jane's cry for help, so he immediately started the engine. But because the elevator was stuck, not only did it not go up, on the contrary, the steel wire kept tightening, slowly pulling the car towards the pit. The man with glasses didn't know and tried to stop it with his body, but the enemy was attacking. At the same time, Jane and the others were being attacked. They were trapped in the elevator and could only use melee weapons to fight to the death. But very quickly, a team member was killed by the monster, and the prisoner was also captured by the monster. At this moment, the vehicle reached the base gate. The man with glasses could only choose to give up resisting. Just like that, he fell into the enemy's hands. Watching helplessly as the vehicle was about to fall, the prisoner accidentally noticed the monster's watch, which looked exactly like his father's watch. Unexpectedly, this monster is actually my father. The moment the car crashed into the pit, the prisoner quickly told Jane to leave the elevator, choosing to die together with the monster. At the same time, John and Jane escaped and reunited. Before the monster could catch up, they grabbed the elevator rope and climbed up, and the man with glasses was captured by the enemy. Almost got hurt on the livestream. Luckily, the two Johns appeared just in time, dealt with the enemies and saved them. But before they could relax, they spotted a bomber plane in the sky. Dropping a bomb, the three quickly got into the car. In the final moment of the explosion, successfully left the base, turned back to look again. The base exploded into a mushroom cloud. I'm DH Movie Review. See you in the next movie.